Today we share a message for non-affirming Christians, or maybe for you to share with non-affirming Christians. A message that says that you do not need to be afraid to support LGBTQ plus people and same-sex relationships. Today it can feel like just the opposite, but here's the truth. Prejudices are breaking down. Walls are breaking down. Pastors are rethinking their entrenched positions. Parents are choosing their child over learned false doctrine. This is about love, not fear.
Would it be okay if I were to tell you that I am afraid someday? So I call you up and you call me down. Would it be okay?
Well, hello and welcome to the FreedHearts podcast. My name is Robert Cottrell and I'm here as always with
Susan Cottrell.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome everyone. Connect with us at freedhearts.org. Remember, as of this past weekend, all of our resources are now free of charge, period. Check it out, freedhearts.org. And again, we hope your National Coming Out Day was wonderful. Today we want to kind of follow up on that because we know a lot of evangelical Christian families and non-affirming church now have that maybe deer in the headlights look when their child or someone just came out to them. So we want to share a message today for non-affirming Christians, or maybe for you to share with non-affirming Christians. A message that says they do not need to be afraid to support LGBTQ plus people and same-sex relationships.
Yeah, right now, it can often feel like it's just the opposite. But here's the truth. Prejudices are breaking down. Walls are breaking down. Pastors are rethinking their entrenched positions. Parents are choosing their child over learned doctrine that doesn't reconcile with their lived experience or with the heart of God. This is happening. So I want to share this from a mom who is part of one of our private groups, Facebook support groups for parents of LGBTQ plus children. We have several groups with tens of thousands of members, and this is something I think a lot of moms and dads will connect with. Here's what she wrote. Being only 2 years into this journey with my son, I still once in a great while read people's anti-accepting comments and blogs and wonder, am I being deceived? Oh, how I wish Jesus would just have come out, and said what many of us know that he's showing us. But then I think, this journey is such a challenge for us on this side, for those on that side, and for our gay friends and family caught in the middle. And challenges shape us, force us to draw near to God if we allow them to. Challenges challenge our thinking. Our past teachings make us take a look at our convictions. Are they biblical, just what we've been taught, or just the way we feel? They encourage us to open our hearts and our minds to delve deeper and to pray fervently our hearts out to the Lord.
Oh, that's a great perspective. Wow.
It's a great perspective. I love that. I love her thinking. And when I started writing and speaking about LGBTQI issues, I kept saying, please, God, don't let me lead anyone astray. I remember that so clearly. That was my big concern. It was the last thing I would want to do. And I felt like I'd stepped onto a high wire without a harness. And, the walk felt so perilous. I prayed not to fall before I reached the other side. But Spirit kept confirming me in gentle ways.
Yeah. I mean, people would actually comment, and that was kind of way back. But all along, people would comment that they could see the love of Jesus in what we shared and how different it was from what their church was saying.
Yes.
And that to me should be a red flag for anybody who is or claims to be Christian or follows Christianity, is that it feels like Jesus, it looks like Jesus, but it's different from what my church is teaching and saying.
Let me try to understand it better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or that they felt that someone had finally heard them and loved them as is,
Yes. I mean, we've been told that we're the first Christians that felt like got them.
That's interesting
and
because
they could resonate with.
Because way back when we lived in Arizona and I did work with children with cancer and families, one of the kids in our program, this had to be, oh my gosh, maybe 20 years now, 21 years ago now, 22 years ago. There was a gay couple who had a child. And there were some Christian elements at that time to that program. And they were very leery.
Yes.
Mom was very leery. And
the two moms.
Yeah, the two moms. But the one mom was very leery in particular, voiced that to us and said, "You're the first Christians I've ever met who seem kind and accepting and loving."
Yes.
It was a long time ago.
I remember I walked up to them. I was greeting people and they were new. And I said, "Oh, hi." And their daughter was there. And I said, "Which one's the mom?" Clueless on this. And they said, "We both are." And I remember there was a beat because I was, your brain whirs for a second. And I said, "Well, I'm so glad you're here." And it felt, I could just see their faces like, well, now we're glad to. It was such a moment. That's all it takes, people, is to love people where they are. That's all.
Yeah, and that's the whole point.
Yes, that's the whole point. How could that not be God's doing? Of course I wanted to text directly from God saying, that what I was doing and believing was the right thing. But Spirit is often more subtle than that. And Jesus taught us outright.
Wait, is that, if we use iMessage, is a text from God an I am message?
No idea where you're going. So
do you ever have any
funny.
idea where I'm going? Often. Sorry,
yes,
didn't mean to interrupt you there.
That
Go right
message
ahead.
is an I am message. I love that.
Go right ahead.
We need to make a meme. Okay.
You were saying Jesus taught outright?
Jesus taught outright, I accept and love all people, period. He didn't add regardless of orientation. He didn't add regardless of race or age or gender, because why would he? All means all. Yeah.
I heard something recently about how, a lot of people in this who are in the non-affirming Christian church, and if you're part of that, if you're hearing this, but I know you've heard that people say that we get our rights not from our government, but from God.
Huh.
Okay. But God says all.
Right.
So do those rights apply to all?
Right.
Or not? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And today, so much of Christianity, just an honest assessment here, so much of Christianity teaches a completely opposite message, at least in their actions.
And it's a learned thing. They're carrying on a very, very long tradition of judgment of who's in and who's out.
Yeah.
And I get that, but it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's time to change, to flip the script.
And perhaps
New
God,
wine needs new wineskins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the mom said too about being on the journey and the challenges, perhaps God gave us the journey this way to focus on relationship instead of right and wrong.
Yeah, which Jesus said in about 1,000 ways. That's right. And perhaps the idea was to encourage us all to delve deeper into the path laid out for us of love first, love last, and love all the while. And perhaps the idea is to help us deepen our love for and our relationships with those that we may have been falsely taught don't deserve our love and attention. How dare we? And those we're taught that are somehow less than.
Yeah. And we talked a lot. You can go back. Our most popular episode of all time is about the teaching of contempt. We've talked a lot about that. And that's basically us versus them. And how the church conveys that, and is really, that's the rock they've built their church on, is this us versus them. And that there are always others,
Too long, so long, Peter.
Yeah,
We're not building on you.
There are always others. They change with time. Again, from women to left-handed to all kinds. But Jesus did not teach this in any way.
Right.
Beloved, his teaching was simple. Love. Period.
Yes. And I know that many in the church want conditions to love so that they can have another platform to stand on and be right about. We were in that church. We know this. And this has led and continues to lead to marginalization and oppression of large groups of people simply for who they are. And we see this now in so many ways, especially with the transgender community.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to get technically biblical about this, to focus on right and wrong is to live off of the tree of knowledge.
Yes.
And we talk about this in an episode, YouTube video, and it's in several of the 21-day Beloved Adventures, which are now free, by the way. But the tree of knowledge is about rules, things to do, things to not do, the knowledge of good and evil, about rules and leads to death.
And God said, nope, it's not the tree for you.
Don't eat off.
Right.
God said, eat off of the tree of life.
Yes.
Which is about, and that's interesting because it's always, what was really compelling to me about that was that I'm not supposed to focus on the list of good things because it's on the same tree as the list of bad things.
Yes. Yes.
Instead, it's the tree of life. Well,
Yes.
what's that? That's about spirit in relationship.
Yes.
And leads to life. The Spirit, who Jesus said leads us in all truth, leads us in love and in relationship. That was the whole point of the two trees.
Yeah, it's really compelling. It's really compelling anew. You know, we've taught this bit for a long time, but it's all over again, thinking that the command in the garden was, don't eat off the tree of right and wrong. It wasn't don't eat off the tree of wrong. It was right and right. It's the tree of judgment. That's what the tree of knowledge of good and evil is judgment. Don't eat off the tree of judgment. Eat off the tree of life. That should be the end right there. That's the mic drop right there.
It's simple and it's beautiful. And again, just an honest assessment here, but it's not controllable. It's not, you can't manipulate that. You can
You can't monetize it.
Yeah, you can, that's right.
Scale
you can
it.
do that with the lists of good and bad, right
Yes.
and wrong. And
Yes.
so the church from its inception on till today has focused on that because that's what separates them from the church down the street. That's what keeps people in the pews.
Yes.
So that's the really freeing thing to understand that to eat off the tree of life is no concern for right or wrong. The Spirit will lead us in that.
That's right. In relationship. It's like the vast ocean, and we're all in the vast ocean, free to swim anywhere. And then a big net comes and pulls a bunch of us up and starts telling us what we can and can't do.
Yeah.
And because you can't monetize all the fish in the ocean or commodify them, only the ones you can gather together and tell them what to do.
Yeah.
We know where that leads.
No, I have no doubt that God is moving here, not just in us, not just in you, but in so many others.
Yeah. I mean, even today, where it's very easy to get overwhelmed and maybe even depressed, resigned, and in which there may be kind of endless what ifs and many real threats. God is still moving. We are still growing. And hear this again, please. It is so vital that we stay in community, that we support and help each other, that we find hope in the long game and the power of love. Prejudices are breaking down. Walls are breaking down. Pastors are rethinking their entrenched positions. It's true, and parents are choosing their child over false doctrine. We see it every day.
Yeah, we shared this quote a few weeks ago on social media, but I thought it was perfect for this. It says, wherever empathetic, courageous human beings spend themselves on behalf of other people, when they keep going despite being exhausted, when they refuse to tire of doing the right thing, when they will not be shamed into silence, then love will be winning. So we think, well, it doesn't look like love is winning.
Yeah.
But, and that's a quote from John Pavlovitz, by the way, our friend John. And so I thought it was a good time to share that again. But, and sometimes when I look at this and I look at the attacks coming against, especially the transgender community, I feel like just keep talking, just keep doing these insane and insanely hurtful things, because the more you do, the more you talk, the more you reveal your heart and motives. And a lot of people don't care, but many, beloved, I see it. Many, many, many people do care. And I believe we're seeing a shift. Mm-hmm. And if you're hearing this, if someone has shared this with you as a Christian parent, maybe struggling with this issue with your child, this may be a divine appointment for you, a time, and there's a reason they shared it. There's a reason you're hearing it now. So I believe that we're all part of this shift that's happening.
Yeah, critical mass of people coming to understand a whole different way of being here. And so much is changing, and I believe we're in a time of reformation. I do, a time when people are stepping out and learning how to love unconditionally and learning that they themselves are indeed unconditionally loved, that God loves them without any conditions. What? That's phenomenal. And, and there are many of us who are walking that wire. We know we're not alone, and that makes the wire a lot closer to the ground.
Yeah.
But I have long since stopped being afraid. I know I am living in truth, and I'm on the right side of God's heart and the right side of history. I affirm LGBTQI+ because of my faith, not in spite of it.
Yes.
All it required was trust in that still small voice, and it showed me that I was hearing God all along. And to those who are out there who follow Jesus, who want to follow Jesus, you can hear that too. You have nothing to fear. Love your LGBTQ+ child, your family and friends unconditionally, and trust God with all the rest. I promise you, it is the right way to go, that love is always the right, holy, spiritual, sacred choice.
We love you, beloved. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Would it be okay if I were to tell you that I am afraid someday? So I call you up and you call me down. Would it be okay?
You've been listening to the Freed Hearts Podcast. We have extensive resources and vibrant, inclusive community for you at freedhearts.org. Please come say hello. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions for the podcast, just email us at podcast@freedhearts.org. Audio engineering is by Luke Johnson. The music is provided by our child, the Grammy-nominated Saint Sinner. You can find out more about him and his music at saintsinnermusic.com. Please share, subscribe, and follow on your favorite platform, and support if you can. And thanks for listening.